Well, I'm kind of still in my jammies. I got my warbler. Look at this. And I need to do some serious neck and trap work in the gym. Otherwise, Mother Nature is going to catch up with me and it ain't going to be good. Hey, today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about some things that I've been seeing in the media lately. Contradictions. I see some contradictions that are just really ticking me off. Where am I at right now? I'm out here on the porch having coffee. I got my electronic Bible, going to do some devotions, and I'm out here on the porch in the early morning. It's nice out. I hear the birds singing probably behind me there. Got my roses and my daylilies right there. Yeah, good stuff. Well, anyway, I don't want to waste too much time on this. What I want to talk about is contradictions. Lately, I've been seeing a tremendous amount of contradictions in the government. Now you say, oh, well, what else is new? No, I mean really. When Valerie Plame, the supposed covert operator, got outed, which she really was never a covert operator, but when she got outed, people went to prison for that. There was a huge investigation. Scooter Libby, who worked for Vice President Cheney, went to prison for that. Okay? Eric Holder and the president and all these other people are releasing classified information like crazy. Nothing's being said. Not a word. Nothing. President Bush wanted to give amnesty to illegal aliens. Everybody in the government had a fit. You'd have thought that he was talking about, marching Pancho Villa across the Mexican border. Now, President Obama decides to give amnesty to 800,000 illegal aliens from Mexico. They sound like it's the first time. It sounds like he invented gravity. Come on. And I mean, and the contradictions go on and on and on. People heckled George W. Bush. People were very, very disrespectful to him as the President of the United States in press conferences. They were disrespectful to his brother, George Herbert Walker Bush. Even Reagan suffered heckling. And everybody said, well, hey, buck up, buddy. That's just what happens when you hold a press conference. Yet, President Barack Obama gets asked hard questions by a journalist, and he says, hey, I'll ask the questions here. And they call it heckling. They call it hatred and all this kind of stuff. This president said, another contradiction, this president said over a year ago that he did not have the authority to grant amnesty to illegal aliens, but yet on Friday, his favorite day to release stuff that he doesn't want people to know about so it can go ahead and be established before Monday hits, with the stroke of a pen, he grants amnesty to illegal aliens by executive order. And it's always on a Friday. If you look at Sandy Rios on her show on American Family Radio, it's always on Friday. It's always at a time when people are not watching the news that he makes these earth-shattering announcements. Then by Sunday morning, Meet the Press, it's news. But by that time, it's too late to do anything about it because the business week's over. Congress doesn't have time to raise Cain about it. It's a done deal. And he does it that way intentionally. I should have written down the contradictions. But there's been a list of different things that other people did, and it was absolutely wrong. Did it in Bush's presidency. People had a fit. Barack Obama did the exact same thing in an exactly opposite party, and it was looked upon as genius. It was genius politics. Fantastic. And I don't understand this. I mean, no, George W. Bush didn't always do everything that he should have done, but he had the chance to defend himself several times in the media, defend himself over the WMDs that weren't in Iraq, defend himself over some other policies, and he didn't, because had he defended himself and showed what cards he had played, he would have put national security in jeopardy. But yet this president will release classified secrets in a heartbeat in order to justify his actions. Well, I did it for this reason, and here's why, and looky what I got. That is not what classified information is for. Just because you are the president does not give you the right to declassify anything you feel like. The intelligence laws of this nation are set in place for that very reason. I worked in military intelligence units for a total of, 3 years in Germany. I worked at about a year in Korea, about 6 or 7 months at Fort Bragg. I've been around the intelligence community. I've been around. I was at MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, Florida, near the Special Operations Command. I was not in Special Operations Command before anybody goes getting their fact-checking computer out. But I was at the base where it was. I did hold a high clearance, and I can tell you that classified information, when released to unauthorized sources, can send you to prison. But yet this president does it as a rule. He does it as normal stuff. Let me give you another example of contradictions. When George W. Bush was doing the wiretapping, and they were listening to calls from foreign nationals, incoming calls into the United States. They said he's spying on Americans. He didn't get the right warrant. There's classified courts that you could go to get the right warrants and all that. And they had a fit about it and they used intel oversight laws, which are really there, and those are laws that prevent Americans from being spied upon. But yet this president will go and use the Secret Service as his own personal Gestapo. I know of one individual, an upstanding Christian minister and Christian music performer, who had his computer gone over with a fine-tooth comb back in February because he dared to speak out about this administration on his Facebook and on his personal blog. And he got a visit from the Secret Service, had his computer seized. They wanted to make sure that he wasn't a threat to the nation. Please. We have a right under the United States Constitution to redress grievances. The same, okay, now here's the contradiction. This same president, as a rule, routinely investigates his foes. Using the Secret Service, the FBI, and other forces, he investigates Americans on American soil using military intelligence resources, which is illegal. He has set up no free speech zones. Usually you have free speech zones around big conventions. That's where people can freely protest. They call them free speech zones. Well, he's done the opposite. He has enacted non-free speech zones where if you carry a sign and the Secret Service deems it a protest against the president, you can be arrested if you're in one of those zones. What's going on? Well, some people would say, well, that's easy. Don't stand in that zone. But you know what? Had George W. Bush done that, you would have called him a Nazi. You would have called him a subversive. You would have called him King George. You would have said that he was trying to subvert this nation. But yet you allow it from this president. It is time to call the Anointed One to task. That's what he's referred to. Sean Hannity refers to him all the time as the Anointed One. I am not going to disrespect the office of the president. Well, although I am currently at this moment retired, that could change because I could be recalled to active duty at any moment. I have recall paperwork in that is in, and it's good for 2 years. At any time they see a job that I would fit, I could have orders in the front mailbox up here at my house or in an email saying, report to Fort Jackson, you're being regreened, you're being recalled. So I say this delicately. I do not disrespect the office of the president. I am a United States Army soldier to this moment. I am in a retired reserve status, but I am a soldier. And so I say this very gently. I respect the office of the president. However, I believe that the president needs to obey the laws of this nation that he swore an oath to uphold. He swore a more serious oath than I even swore when I swore to uphold the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. He needs to uphold his oath, and he needs to obey the laws of this nation and stop doing whatever he wants, whenever he wants, whenever it suits him. We need to pray for this president. We need to honor the president. But we also he needs to remember that he's a public servant that works for the taxpayers and the voters of this nation. And I want you to have a great day today. I got all that off my chest. Good day.